Hi everybody! Here are some of our most favorite pottery textures that we have collected at Little Street Pottery over the years. Let's go! The sodium silicate texture is Jim's favorite. I applied a contrasting underglaze to my white clay. When it dried, I applied a layer of sodium silicate over the underglaze. I dried the outer shell with a heat gun. From the inside, I stretched the clay outward. As the sodium silicate dried a shell over the surface of the pot, it cracks to create a unique pattern. If any of these textures strike your fancy, you can check out the links to the long versions of the videos in the description section below. If you want to skip the underglaze, the sodium silicate will still crack into fabulous patterns. I also experimented by brushing a contrasting slip over a red clay. Then while the slip was wet, I dipped a fan brush into the sodium silicate and swirled it around into the slip, creating the brush marks. I again dried the top of the slab with a heat gun while leaving the bottom of the slab wet and flexible. I tossed the clay slab down on the table until it began to stretch and crack, mostly along the brush marks. I cut out my favorite part of the slab and created a little dish from it. Here's another cylinder I made using that same technique. One video we had fun making was when we used corrugated rubber mats. By itself, you can get beautiful straight long lines, but when we went further and cut the mat into pieces and rearranged the lines, it created all sorts of pattern texture plates and stamps too. And if you stamp in different directions over top of itself, you can create diamonds. Simple corrugated matte stamps turned in opposite directions gives a nice quilt pattern. You can also roll coils over the mats in various directions to texture them for construction projects like this unique coil-built vase. Let me share some other textures from things we found around the house. Jim came up with this idea. He had a wire brush tool bit. He put the metal bit into a hollow wooden ball so it could spin. Then I held it against the body of the cylinder to come up with this fuzzy texture. I also tried this on clay slab bits and hand-built a very unique vase with it. A dressmaker's rotary tool is a must-have in the studio. When you roll it over lines, the clay transforms into an almost quilted pattern of sewing marks, especially if you stretch the surrounding clay outward like I did with this very fancy vase. Many of your pottery tools would create interesting patterns, like this brush tool made for cleaning glaze out of colander holes. I got this tea strainer from the kitchen. It's fun to push the clay through the mesh and create little mounds of tufts. I thought they looked like tufts of leaves on a tree. This tool's from the kitchen. It's a garlic press. I placed a mound of clay in the chamber and squeezed out multiple coils the same size that can be used to create patterns on your slabs. I used these to create a unique pattern on a folded bowl. Always be on the lookout for old jewelry or decorative doodads. They have symmetrical shapes that can be manipulated into wonderful patterns. You've seen these in the bathrooms, the rubber mats with the suction cups. Turns out they make really cool polka dot textures. Don't forget the tops of pens will also work to texture clay. When I used different size pen tops, I got this Swiss cheese look, so I went with that and painted a little mouse in the center of the bottom of this bowl. Buttons are also great texture items. I found this one in the fabric shop. When I stamped it in rows, it created a beautiful texture. I found this little mold in the craft store to make jewelry pendants with, but I found that it made great textures on my clay slab. I got this molded glass dish from my local Goodwill. The bottom of the dish had these beautiful hobnails in an oval shape, which I impressed and used as a little spoon rest. Rubber bands can even provide a fun texture. I took off the roller part of my pony roller and stretched rubber bands around the whole thing. I reattached it, then rolled it over my slab for this always unique texture. When you roll in different directions, you get a great random pattern. And here's a couple samples that I did with those. I picked up this shortbread pan at a Christmas sale. Holidays are great times to find items for clay textures. You can use these as tree ornaments or even tags for special presents. This is a really fun one we demonstrated a few years ago using patterned fishnet stockings. Once the stocking is stretched and formed over the clay cylinder, I coated it with several layers of slip, then stiffened it a bit with a hairdryer. I could then gently peel the stocking off the clay, and the stocking pattern was left, etched onto the surface. We experimented with several other ways to work with the stocking, so you might want to check out that video in its long form. In another video, I experimented with other types of fabric to create patterns. In particular, ribbons and cheesecloth have great possibilities. By layering the ribbons and then shredding the cheesecloth and pressing them into the clay, I got a shallow texture, and to increase the depth of the texture, I added wet slip over the whole thing and let it dry. It was quite satisfying to peel up that fabric. I fired the clay slab and used it as a texture plate to create a mug. Now let's check out some ways to use nature as texture. I picked up this seashell while I was on vacation at the beach. It's one of nature's beauties, both in texture and color. I pressed clay down over the shell to create a mold. When it was dry, I fired that to vitrification. Then I used that mold to create these cute little shell bowls. One of the richest textures around my house is the bark on this sweet gum tree. I just pressed a clay slab right to the trunk to get this gorgeous texture. I used that slab to create this cylinder. The texture on the top and the bottom of the cylinder are from a spiny pine branch that I found. Your tool drawer can also provide a treasure trove of textures. I found this leather-working overstitch wheel that creates even more accentuated sewing lines than the sewer's markers wheel. It really transforms the clay to look like leather, and it adds a level of distinction and craftsmanship to any piece. Now here are some cheap, versatile tools we used on quite a few projects, the ball tools. The set comes with a variety of sized balls on the ends of sticks. When impressed into the clay with gentle pulls and depths, you can form gorgeous patterns like the ones on these vases. From my hardware drawer, I found thin gauges of wire. I twisted the wire and stretched it to create this tool. When I wired it through a thick slab, pulling it at different angles, I could peel the slab apart to reveal this really cool texture. I made this sweet little serving dish from that slab. You can also find ready-made twisty wires at the Pottery supply to create really interesting mug bottoms. I love a surprise on the bottom of a mug. And the more wiggling and sharp angles creates different patterns, so there's no limit to the patterns you can create. Using 2 strands of wire, I twisted them together to create another wire tool and got a great fine line design. The craft store is another great place to look for textures. I found these template sheets that I rolled into my clay slab. It created a great uniform variety of patterns for this container. I went back to the leather department and found these leatherworking stamps in a Celtic design. Those can be used for patterns into the clay, or you can cut them out and create little appliques to decorate items like vases. I think that little touch adds a lot of class. Creating your own stamps, like carving patterns into soft rubber sheets, is also a great way to personalize your clay. I found the inexpensive sheets and cutters at the hobby shop. Even carving simple line designs can result in dramatic textures and patterns on your clay. Some of my favorite tools come from Diamond Core. I used their fine line carver to carve a pattern into a fat clay coil. I fired the coil so that it could be used as a texture roller. I used that roller to make a lovely utensil holder for my kitchen. Here's another one I carved with no fancy imagery, just simple patterns of lines. Changing the shape of the rollers makes a big difference in your texture as well. I rolled a ball of clay and carved lines into it to create a totally unique texture at every angle which it's rolled. I rolled that same ball to create these distinct lines. These wooden rollers are available at the Pottery supply. They're selling the rolls separately from a handle tool that it fits on. As I don't have the handle part, I just slid it on a dowel rod and rolled it that way. Oh, that would make a gorgeous border. Craft foam is another item I like to experiment with. I actually forgot about this one. I drew flower images into the foam with a ballpoint pen that digs down into the foam to create ditches. I pressed the drawing into the clay, and the clay impressed into those lines, leaving this lovely pattern. Here's another experiment where I perforated the foam through a thin piece of tracing paper. When I rolled it over a clay slab, it created little raised dots. I accentuated those raised dots with a little bee illustration in the center of this plate. Now, plaster is not my favorite to work with as it can contaminate your clay, but I was careful and created this plaster slab with a tile-sized cavity. When the plaster was set up, I carved a simple line design into it. I impressed the clay into the cavity and came away with this lovely tile that I could reuse for a set. I'm sure we've just scratched the surface, pardon the pun, to the hundreds of videos that we've made. I hope that you're inspired to explore our catalog of free videos below.